I mean, no doubt, my biggest failure, which I still look at as lesson learned, it's made me who I am today, personally and professionally. And my heart still races, but I'm not going to cry. Was 2017 when I lost $1.4 million. And it sucked, and I still talk about it. I can finally talk about it now, 6 years later, without bawling instantly. And it was a really dark time, personally and professionally, because it was the perfect storm. And it's pretty much comprised of three variables. Now, when I say I lost $1.4 million, this isn't like company money. This was investors, other people's money, which ended up being my money because I did everything I could to pay them back. So what happened was, number one, I grew too fast. So in downtown Chicago, I ended up buying 10 luxury high-end properties within a 3 block radius within 6 months in a 6 month time period. Now, that's not the problem. The problem is because I grew too fast, I needed to hire a second general contractor. And there were so many moving parts, and I ended up hiring someone who came highly recommended, who was just terrible. He did not know what he was doing on the residential side. He was a great commercial builder, and he ended up costing me $400,000 in just materials and labor. Yes, I'm stubborn. I sued him. I spent $35,000 on taking him to court. I got a judgment that I still have today. I can't collect on it because all he did was dissolve his LLC. Was I going to spend the time and money to go sue him personally? No. So that's one part. Number two is because this guy didn't know what he was doing, my projects, which were supposed to take 12 months to finish, ended up taking 18 months. Some even took longer. And each of my monthly holding costs for these properties was $10,000. I've got 10 of them, so that's $100,000 a month in holding costs for properties that are just sitting there while I try to find the right general contractor to finish the job. Number three, and this is out of our control, because my projects didn't finish within a reasonable time. Just as my finished products were hitting the market, other developers ended up buying in my target market that no one had tapped into, and their properties were hitting the market at the same time. So collectively, there were 36 high-end luxury single-family homes that have been renovated within a 5 to 6 block radius. So now the very small and limited buyer pool that we had leverage. So we have properties listed at 1.4, 1.5 million, and they're giving us offers at 1.1, 1.2, right? Because they didn't have to buy our house. So I ended up losing all this money. Now, here's the thing, you guys, like when you structure your deals the right way and you've got the right contracts in place and you're working with the right attorneys, like I didn't have to pay back my private money lenders because they made an investment, right? Now, there are people who will say, Amy, why did you lose $1.4 million? Like, your private money lenders made an investment. Like, you didn't have to pay them back. That's true. And you don't have to pay them back, I guess, if you structure the contracts the right way. But in real estate, it's very easy to make money, easy to lose it too, of course. And it just bothered me to my core to not even try to make these people whole again. So still till this day, 6 years later, I mean, you guys, I liquidated all my assets. I drained all of my retirement accounts to pay them back out of pocket. I put private money lenders on payment plans. It started out being a 1 year payment plan, then a 2 year payment plan, then a 3 year payment plan. Some ended up being a 4 to 5 year payment plan, to where finally I had nothing more to give. I never thought about exiting the real estate industry. I was just changing my strategy. So still till this day, there are less than a handful of private money lenders who only got back 90% of their principal. Most of them got back their principal and most of them got back their interest. But this is one of the things that we have to understand before we get out there and raise money. Be okay with making money, losing money. Decide, what are you going to do? Are you going to say, sorry, you made an investment and walk away? Are you going to try to make them whole again? So that was definitely by far the toughest year of my life. I would go home every day crying to my boyfriend turned husband now at the time. I thought about filing for bankruptcy multiple times. Every day I would cry, but I would focus on problem solving, problem solving, problem solving. I was sick and at the doctor's office at least once a month. And then my boyfriend at the time, honey, Sean, decided to propose. So now I have to plan a wedding, which normally I was very excited that he proposed. But I'm like, I don't have time to plan a wedding. So, but this too shall pass and perseverance will prevail. And, I've been criticized for not being very empathetic and not having compassion for people who call me and complain about a $3,000 loss. Like, really, $3,000? And I know people have lost way more than me, right? But once you know how to overcome that, it's like a $3,000 loss is nothing. Here's how you go fix that with just one referral fee.